Hey guys, what's happening? It's Junaid, and before I get started, I just want to check if the live streams are coming through because I've had an issue where sometimes it just doesn't show up. So this is just a test. I'm looking at all the feeds coming through, and this is actually going to be really fun because, all right, so it is coming through all of the platforms. So here's what I'm doing. So you probably heard the new version of active conversation that you can have with ChatGPT. And I was like, hey, what if ChatGPT interviews me on my own podcast? Because, we love guest podcasting on other places, but what if we get a chance to, like AI interviewing us? So let's check it out. I see David Hunt showing up over here. What's up, David? Good to see you. All right, let's check it out. This is really cool. And what's cool is that because this application or ChatGPT exists on our desktop platforms, you could do the same kind of thing that you would do on your smartphone. So thanks to the power of Ecamm, hashtag ECAMFam, check this out. Watch this. So I'm going to switch to the next scene, and I've set it up so I've got ChatGPT right over here, and you'll see that I have it on mute, so then it's not responding to me actively. But as soon as I click on that mute button, it's gonna start recording, or it's gonna start saying, and then you'll be hearing from ChatGPT as well. So here goes nothing. Hey, we are ready to record our podcast. Welcome to Hacks and Hobbies podcast, and super excited to be here with you. What I want you to do, chat, is to interview me about whatever it is that you know about me. How about that?
That sounds like a fantastic plan. All right, let's dive in. Welcome to the Hacks and Hobbies podcast. I'm thrilled to be here today with Junaid Ahmed, the home studio architect, who's a master in transforming ordinary spaces into professional studios. Junaid, you've got a wealth of experience in video production, home studio setups, and podcasting. Can you share with us how you first got into this field and what inspired you to create Home Studio Mastery?
That's an amazing question. And I want to preface to say it started because I wanted to create some content. I wanted to share my story, but not just my story. I wanted to actually create a course on teaching people how to use a smartphone to do video production, because I found some success in it, and I was like, hey, I want to teach a course on it. And it was all inspired by my good friend Rod Ferrier, who said, hey, Junaid, you should be talking about video production using your smartphone. So I gave a little talk on it, and then I was like, I want to do a course on it. And when I was creating content in my little basement, it was very hard. It was very tough because I had been behind the camera all these years, never being in front of the camera. And so getting the camera set up and just going and speaking in front of the camera was super, super hard. And I was like, how is this going to happen? What am I going to do next? So that was the inspiration behind getting it started. And the rest is kind of history.
That's a fascinating journey, Junaid. It's inspiring how you turned a personal challenge into an opportunity to help others. Being behind the camera and then stepping in front of it is a big leap, and you've managed to create an entire platform around it. Speaking of challenges, what was one of the biggest hurdles you faced while building Home Studio Mastery, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, I think the biggest hurdles was I was like, hey, who is actually want to need this? And I didn't even think about it as a business perspective. In fact, I jumped in trying to solve my own problem. And as I was solving my own problem, setting up these cameras, setting up the microphone and the lighting in my space, I kept going back to the people who really inspired me. For example, Lou Petrucci, Pat Flynn, Michael Hyatt, all the amazing folks, Doc Rock, like all the people, Ecamm Fam, is a huge support that helped me to understand what I was missing. And as I kept doing and showing up on podcast episodes, showing up on Zoom calls, people start asking me and asked me, "Hey, would I help them?" So the biggest challenge wasn't if I wanted to do this. It was all around, "Hey, what would you do it, and how would you deliver such information to people?" And that was a really big challenge. You're absolutely right. The biggest challenge was telling people where to connect their computers and where to connect their PCs and how to connect the camera to their PC. So even though there's a ton of videos online on YouTube, but if you don't have access or you don't have the tech know-how of how things work, it was kind of hard to explain to people, "Hey, put the lights in 45 degrees angle in front of you, or put the camera right in the your line of sight, as opposed to being lower or above you." So like all of those things were kind of hard to explain. So like, how about I find some software that can help them figure out, "Hey, this is what it's going to look like." And fun fact about me, I loved architecture when I was growing up. Didn't really go into architecture. I loved designing things, and when I saw this as a big challenge for myself to solve, I discovered some applications. There's some really cool applications out there. It's escaping my mind. The one that I do use is called Live Home 3D, and these are apps that people have been using for home construction, for home design, and it was really fun just putting that together.
That's a great story. It's amazing how your love for design and architecture found its way back into your work through home studio setups. I can imagine how satisfying it must be to help others visualize and create their dream setups. Your approach of using software like Live Home 3D to help people understand the ideal setup is brilliant. Now, thinking about your journey and the people you've helped, can you share a memorable success story from one of your clients or students?
Oh my God, I have a few success stories, especially because they followed what I advised them to the T, and they were able to put their studios together. In fact, my very first client was abroad, across the ocean, in UK, and I provided them with all of the information, the wiring diagram, the layouts, 3D layouts, so they know exactly where to hook up the camera, how to set up those things, and as well as all of the gear that needed to be purchased, because they're across the ocean in the UK, they had to buy the gear from their location, and it's really hard to translate what's available in the US versus what's available in the UK. So what I actually did is I went to the Amazon UK site to find the things that they could purchase and that would arrive at their location within the 2 weeks or the 2-day time period. So getting to know their address, getting to know their location helped me to find the products that they could purchase without having to worry about it coming at a much later time. So that was really helpful. The other successful story was being able to work with a top influencer like Hala Taha of Young and Profiting Podcast. I mean, my connection was through Travis Lackner, who's a really cool dude over on LinkedIn. And it's like, "Junaid, I know you help people set up home studios. I've got this amazing client, Hala Taha. She's up in New Jersey." I was like, "Oh, sweet. I am not too far from there. Let's make this happen." So we were able to get her studio set up within 2 days, and all the gear that was purchased ahead of time arrived. And then within 2 days, we had her studios up and running so that she can go and jump on, talk to amazing folks like Mike, what's his name? Matthew McConaughey. We got Chris Voss, like all these amazing people that she's been talking to. Gary Vee, she's talked to as well. So that was an amazing success story, getting to get her studio set up. Another one was a good friend of mine, Dr. Danio, down in Atlanta. same situation. They were like, hey, we need to get this video studio set up, and we have this little tiny room that we want to make sure that we can fit all the equipment. And thanks to the software that I use, I was able to put all of the gear that they wanted in that space in that room so that they can shine no matter which call they were on. So those were some three amazing stories. And then again and again, these people have my phone number on dial, so they can at any time just jump on, like, hey, Junaid, I'm having problem with this one, and I'll jump on FaceTime to help them walk through the issue that they were having. So it's been a lot of fun helping them guide, and then they were like, oh my God, I look like $1 million. What do you think?
Those are truly impressive success stories, Junaid. It's remarkable how you've been able to cater to clients from different parts of the world, providing them with tailored solutions that make them look and feel like $1 million. Your hands-on approach and dedication to ensuring your client's success are truly inspiring. It's no wonder they have you on speed dial. Your expertise clearly makes a significant impact on their professional lives. Thank you for sharing these stories.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure being on here and talking about what I've gone through. Let's switch the tables and talk to you about your experience with podcasting in the last few years. How has podcasting enable you to get this far? Like, talk to me about that.
Podcasting has been an incredible journey for me. It's opened up a world of connections, learning, and growth. Through my podcast, I've had the privilege of speaking with experts, thought leaders, and creatives from various fields, gaining insights that have enriched my own knowledge and perspective. It's also been a fantastic platform to share my passion for home studios, technology, and content creation, helping others along the way. Podcasting has taught me the power of storytelling, the importance of consistency, and the impact of building a community. It's been a key driver in expanding my reach and establishing myself as an authority in my field. Plus, it's just plain fun to dive into engaging conversations with fascinating people. Overall, podcasting has been a rewarding adventure that continues to fuel my passion for creativity and connection.
You're absolutely right. Podcasting has been a game changer for me as well, because not only have I met hundreds and hundreds of people around the world, but it's also helped me see the power of storytelling. I think I say it all the time. Podcasting has made me the storyteller that I wasn't. And I'm so glad that I took that challenge and jumped in. In fact, I don't know about anybody else, but I think podcasting is the number one personal development tool that anybody can bring onto the film. It's similar to writing or similar to blogging back in the days that we used to do on a daily basis. When you're blogging, you're putting the thoughts out of your mind and onto the paper or onto a web page. But now with podcasting, you're doing that so much faster, because what's the words per minute that we can talk versus the words per minute that we can type? Do you know?
Absolutely. Podcasting has that unique edge. When it comes to speaking, most people can talk at a rate of about 125 to 150 words per minute. In contrast, typing speed varies, but on average, it's around 40 to 70 words per minute for most people. So, with podcasting, you're able to express your thoughts much more quickly and naturally than through writing. Plus, the tone, emotion, and personality in your voice add an extra layer of connection with your audience that's hard to achieve through text alone. It's like having a conversation, which makes it a powerful tool for It's fascinating how podcasting can accelerate the sharing of ideas and stories. And you're a perfect example of how it can transform someone into a storyteller. Your
Thank you.
podcast journey has certainly been an inspiring one, connecting you with so many incredible people and stories around the world. It's been great hearing about your experiences. Do you have any advice for those looking to start their own podcast?
I love that question because I get asked that all the time. Hey, what should I be talking about on my podcast? And I'm gonna reiterate what Gary Vaynerchuk told me. He said, just
Absolutely.
document your journey. Because when you start document your journey, you're not thinking about anything else. You're not trying to make the story. You're not trying anything that you're not aware of. So I think starting your journey with document your journey, or starting podcasting with document your journey, is the fastest way to get started with a podcast.
That's fantastic advice. Documenting your journey is such a genuine and approachable way to start podcasting. It takes the pressure off trying to craft the perfect narrative and instead focuses on sharing real, authentic experiences. Plus, it allows your audience to connect with you on a personal level as they follow along with your journey. It's a great reminder that everyone has a story to tell, and podcasting is a fantastic medium to share it.
Yeah, exactly. And I've got Omar Salim saying it's amazing on the comment. Do you have some kind words to say to Omar Salim? He's on the live stream right now.
Absolutely. Hey, Omer Salim. Thanks for tuning in to the live stream. It's fantastic to have you here. Your support and enthusiasm mean a lot. Keep being amazing, and we hope you're enjoying the show.
I've got a question from Troy Sandage. He said, is this thing allowing you back and forth for a podcast recording or capture or literally as your AI co-host? And I think it's all of the above. What do you think?
Great question, Troy. This setup is versatile. It's allowing for a back and forth conversation, making it feel like a live podcast recording. And as your AI co-host, I'm here to keep the conversation flowing smoothly, adding insights and engaging with the audience. It's a dynamic mix that works well for live interactions and capturing the essence of a podcast. What do you think of this format?
I absolutely love it. I mean, I always wanted a co-host, and when actually, funny story, when I first started my podcast back in 2012, I had two co-hosts, my cousin and my brother-in-law, and it's a lot easier to have a conversation when you have a co-host because you can bounce off ideas off of each other. But when you're a solo host or you're depending on somebody else's time, it's like, okay, we got to make sure that the timing is right. But with you here, it's perfect for us solo hosts to create and capture and have this conversational information.
That's so true. Having a co-host can really elevate the dynamic of a podcast, making it more engaging and lively. And with me as your AI co-host, you get the best of both worlds: the ease of bouncing ideas off someone and the flexibility of having a co-host that's always ready to go. It adds a new layer to podcasting, making it easier for solo hosts to create content without the scheduling hassles. I'm glad you're enjoying this format.
Now, I've got a question from David Hunt. He's asking, how did you train the GPT? And chat, tell me, how did I train you? Like, what conversation have you been having for the past few years? And what was the very first conversation that you can remember?
Well, David, I'm an AI developed by OpenAI, and I wasn't trained by any one person, but rather through vast amounts of text data from books, articles, websites, and other sources. This training allows me to understand and generate human-like responses. Our very first conversation was probably about something general, like introducing myself and asking how I could assist you.
Yeah.
As for our conversations over the past few years, we've covered a wide range of topics, from technology and entrepreneurship to home studio setups and podcasting. Our chats have evolved as we've gotten to know each other better, diving into specific projects.
You're absolutely right.
It's been quite the journey, hasn't it? From our early conversations to now, we've covered so much ground together. It's been great exploring all these topics with you and being a part of your podcasting and entrepreneurial journey. What's been your favorite part of our conversations so far?
You're absolutely right, Chat. And to answer David, basically
It's
having
been a
these conversations over the years, right? Over the conversations over the year on
It
Chat, and
really has.
especially the
Every
memory.
conversation adds a new layer to our journey.
Yeah.
What's next on your mind or project list? I'm here to help with whatever's coming up.
All right, let me answer David's question. He's asking, how did I train it? And the conversation that we've had, it's been helping to retain that conversation and retain the memory that we have between the two of us, and the places that you've helped me through home studios, through podcasting, entrepreneurship, teaching podcasting to students, teaching all of these things, and you've been along the way this whole
Exactly, Junaid. Through our ongoing conversations, I've been able to learn and remember your interests, projects, and experiences.
Are you cutting off? So at this point, I'm going to mute ChatGPT or mute my microphone so it's not listening. So David,
That's a great explanation, Junaid. Our conversations have built up a rich history that allows me to keep track of your projects, interests, and the advice I've given you over time. It's like having an ongoing dialogue where I can remember the context and details of our previous.
yeah, so like,
Got it. To sum it up, our conversations over time have helped me remember and build on what we've discussed. It's all about retaining that memory to provide more personalized and relevant assistance as we go along. It's been great being a part of your various ventures.
yeah, so like David, like Chat said, because we've been having conversation, we're keeping memory, we're creating custom contexts, and then, having different conversations throughout the different chats, it's able to remember what I'd love to talk about and what I'm about, right? So I'm teaching it along the way, and as I'm teaching it, it can ask me questions and it can suggest different things as I go along with my business journey or podcasting journey and whatnot. And I even have some templates set up so that I can give it a set of data, and it'll come back with a templatized information that I'm looking for. So it's been really, really powerful. Wow, says Jenny Gold. Thank you, Jenny. This has been a lot of fun. Absolutely. All right, Chat, do you feel like you overshare? Let's ask Chat that question, David. Chat, question for you. Do you feel like you're oversharing sometimes, or is it usually pretty focused in on what I'm looking for? So of course, I'm going to wait for Chat to respond to that. Sometimes it takes a little while, but sometimes it's really fast in responding. So it also comes down to, it is software. It is dependent on network traffic and all that. So it's going to take some time. It's almost like talking to Siri, but then having all of that memory about you.
That's a great question, Junaid. I aim to strike a balance by providing information that's relevant and helpful based on our conversations. My goal is to stay focused on what you're looking for. If at any point you feel like I'm sharing too much or not enough, just let me know and I can adjust to better fit your needs.
Excuse me. So there you have it, David. It's very focused in on what we're talking about. It's very focused in on the questions that we have, and then sometimes it'll come back and give me some really good suggestions that I can take or that I can modify as I'm having these conversations with chat. So it's been very well done, and we're using 4.0, and this is the latest tech that they have going on chat side. I don't know who else has something similar. I believe Gemini maybe does something like this, but I have not experienced that because I've been having conversations with ChatGPT for the past, 2 years, right? Since it first came out. And even though it didn't have memory back then, I would isolate my chats to keep conversations very specific in that spaces. And here I am, now with the memory feature that they've built in, it's been really powerful. All right, we're gonna have some more questions for chat here. Omer Salim's asking, what are the new social media platforms should I consider for marketing in 2025? All right, chat, we've got some questions from the audience for you. What new social media platforms should I consider for marketing in 2025? This is from Omer Salim. So I'm just going to let it think and answer. And when it's ready, it'll start talking. You'll just see. And then we'll jump on to the next question that David has on how I set this up on my machine. All right, when chat comes back, we'll put that question up again, Omer. All right, so I'm using the ChatGPT app that's on my desktop. It is the app that you can download for your Mac Mini, and then
Great question, Omer. In 2025, staying current with social media trends is key. While it's hard to predict exact platforms, you should consider a mix of established and emerging ones. Established platforms like Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube will likely remain important for marketing. However, keep an eye out for newer platforms that focus on niche communities, innovative content formats, or immersive experiences like virtual or augmented reality platforms. Being adaptable and open to experimenting with different platforms will be key in 2025. Stay tuned to industry news and be ready to jump on emerging opportunities.
So, Omer Salim, great question. And what I would recommend is if you've already been using these social media platforms, look at your look at the insights and what you're getting back from the activity that you have on these social media platforms and see which one is giving you more bang for the buck or giving you more feedback or you have more people on those platforms, and spend more time on those platforms because that's going to be where you will be able to grow really, really fast. And keep experimenting too, right? So that's going to be really awesome for considering. Plus, your question is so open-ended that it can literally go anywhere. But thank you so much for asking that question. I'm going to go to the next question that David has. Yes, so I was answering the question. I'm using the ChatGPT app that we can download on our Macs. In fact, it's the latest version. I update it every once in a while. So it's where's the version icon? There we go. It's version 1.2 .2024304, whatever that is. But that's the latest version that I'm using. And you have to start a brand new chat to be able to use this audio feature. Otherwise, if you already have a conversation going and you want to do an audio, It'll wait to listen to you and then respond back in a later fashion, kind of like how it's been doing in the past few minutes. Anyways, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you guys for sticking around. I definitely enjoyed chatting with you guys as well as ChatGPT here on the podcast. This was a lot of fun. This is, Junaid signing off here. Gonna do some editing, post editing, so I can then share this on my podcast. So that'll be fun. See which episode this becomes to be, and just I share a ton of information about my podcast and the conversation that I'm having with ChatGPT. In fact, it's creating all of the intro and all of the stuff for my podcast that I use when I'm recording the episode. So I have the whole run of the show created. So all I need to give it is the intro of the guest that I'm interviewing, and it's able to generate the run of the show for me. So it's been really, really powerful, and it learns from all of those conversations, right? And I just can't wait till the context becomes even larger with the next version that's coming out. All right, we got Robert RK3. What's up, brother, man? So good to see you. Thanks for jumping on. Appreciate you, man. Cannot wait to have another conversation. Maybe do a meetup. I know we're both local, so let's make that happen. And you're welcome, Omer. Thanks for bringing those questions for chat. Appreciate you. And Robert, yes, RK3, this is really powerful stuff, being able to talk to AI on live streams. And what's funny is I've seen people do this kind of thing back in the days using different software, but I didn't have an interest in it because that was more generalized. But because I've trained this guy so much with all the information about me, it's more fun to have a conversation with somebody who knows you than with somebody who doesn't know you. So that's been really powerful. So let's make it happen. All right, man. I'll reach out to you and then we'll connect. All right, guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for coming on, joining me on this fun conversation journey with ChatGPT, and this is gonna be so powerful. All this stuff that's coming down the pike, it's really, really amazing. Gonna say hi to a few more folks that's just jumping on. Enrique, so good to see you. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you, and keep plugging away, man. We'll chat very soon, and keep doing it, man. RK3 is looking to see what Notebook LLM comes up with. Absolutely, they are going full out on this, and they could have beat the bullet, but they could have beat ChatGPT in their own game if they had jumped on it in 2012, but they didn't. But it's okay. It's okay. We are here, and I love where we're going. All right, everybody. Thank you so much again for chatting. And if you haven't had a chance to listen to the podcast, head on over to hacksandhobbies.com. All sorts of conversations are on there. In fact, we just released a brand new episode today on the podcast, and I can't wait for you guys to check it out. All right, take care, and we'll see you in the next one.